a performance coach. I've trained Navy SEALs, I've trained aspiring Navy SEALs, I've trained a host of people, elite athletes, and I was shocked by the level of commitment, the level of courage, the level of openness. These are all adaptive athletes, all former military, some current military, and something about their bodies is not as able as other people's, and they have chosen not to use that as an excuse and to try to overcome that. There's two big blocks of the program. The first block was an endurance and a strength workout with them on some aerobic equipment where we did high interval training. And then we had a strength circuit, which was more anaerobic, more resistance training, where we're building that lean muscle. So we had various exercises, some they were familiar with, some they weren't familiar with. We like to have that. We don't want them always to be in their comfort zone. Then the next day we mixed it up a little bit.
One person's going to go at a time until they complete their mission.
Basically a little mini Olympics, trying to simulate what it might be like in August when they have their actual event. One person would do an aerobic event where they had to do a certain amount of mileage, and right at the end, when that participant finished the event, we would challenge them with a mental aptitude test. So while they're tired and a little bit woozy on their feet, we said, all right, how do you make the combination of these numbers into the number 24? When you had 3 minutes to come up with an answer. 15, no, that's 18, that's 18. You're standing there and everybody sees it except for that person who just ran a mile in 7 minutes and 20 seconds and they blew themselves out. One of the other mental events was, how many of a series of numbers can you remember in a row?
7, 8, 2, 6, 2, 6, 5, 3, 6, 7, 2.
7, 8, 2, 6, 2, 6, 5, 3, 6, 7, 2.
Correct. And we keep adding numbers until they couldn't remember the sequence. When they're doing the actual Triumph Games, there are going to be mental aspects to it when you're tired, when you're under duress. And then we went into the other room where we had more of a circuit routine, where they did strength, agility, followed by a mental game.
6 times 4 is 24. Time.
We had people throwing medicine balls against the wall for 3 minutes. We had people holding on to a dumbbell or a kettlebell and doing laps. We had people doing not a regular squat thrust, but a one-legged squat thrust. That's a difficult exercise, so that was an eye-opener for them. And then we had a motor skills challenge, which was a tennis challenge, where you had to hit a tennis ball into a small basket. Looks easier than it is. And then at the end, we told them that they were done. So typically, everybody lets their guard down. All of a sudden, we bring them over to one final table, and we did what's called a KIMS game. KIMS is an acronym for keep in mind. We gave them 30 seconds to remember 28 different items. Face this way, please.
Newspaper, hand sanitizer.
Newspaper.
If I don't point to you, I'm not saying it.
And they didn't know they were going to do it, so we caught them off guard. We just brought them over there and basically said, okay, guys, go. So they didn't have time to teamwork, they didn't have time to talk, to strategize, and there was varying levels of success about how to communicate, how to remember. We logged them all down. And ultimately, we tallied them all up, and there was going to be a winner. And the winner would happen to be the blue team. What I hope that the athletes in general take away from this is, number one, it's a great little primer for what they're going to do in August. Number two, hopefully they learn some things about energy management, about fitness, about pushing themselves on a piece of equipment that they're not used to. And we think that it'll make them as a whole, both mentally and physically, better for their particular sport. And then, of course, great for the Triumph Games. We were honored enough to work with these folks. These people brought this new energy and new life to me that really inspired me.